All right. I'm staring at the grass. How ironic is that? I came up from mowing it. Now it's kind of in my ass. That wasn't a bad bar, so I guess I'm gonna use this one as my flow. There's a truck driving by. I hope he has a boat. Nope. All right, whatever. What up, y'all? It's your boy Zach, Make Money Mowing. So to start off this video, I want to ask you a question. I already started it with a freestyle. I want to ask another question. Would more customers make your life easier or harder? If it would make your life easier, then I hope this video is of use to you, because I'm gonna show you how to make infinite, endless, and quality customers come to you for the rest of your life, as long as you put these next steps into motion. And the best part, it doesn't cost any money. It requires some effort, but no money. So let's get into it. So the first thing that we need to do is just psychoanalyze how the world works, right? And I think another good tip that you can use for getting more customers for your business is to flip positions and put yourself in the shoes of the customer and think about how would they find you by first looking at your own habits, right? So if I was a customer and I was going to try to find a lawn care business, given all my past habits of how I operate this crazy technological world, what I do is, it's very simple. I pull out my phone and I type in lawn care services near me. Or if I was looking for anything else, if I was looking for a massage therapist, I type in massage therapist near me, oil changes near me, petting zoos near me, restaurants near me, right? So I don't go drive around and look for all these places and waste gas. I don't think anybody, I mean, some people do, but I think most of us just go on Google and we search for it. And then whenever we're looking at our options, let's use a massage therapist as an example. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all the massage therapists in my area, and then say if I narrow it down to two options. So there's an option one that has 300 reviews and it has an average of 4.4 stars. And the second option, they have 30 reviews and they have a 4.9 star rating. So the first one, 300 reviews, 4.4. The second one, they have 30 reviews, 4.9. Which one are you going to pick? I'm going to pick the one that has less reviews but with a higher average rating, because I just figured it'd be more quality and be a better service. I want the best service possible, so I'll get the one with the best reviews. Is it 100% foolproof? No, of course not. You never know. But for the most part, it gets the job done, and I would imagine that's how many of you also operate. People just want to Google it and get the instant result. They go on Google, they type in lawn care services near me, and then for me at least, if I see sponsored ads, I already don't even click it, because I just assume they're paying money to get in front of my face, and it's not as organic as finding a local one that has good reviews. So when it comes to just marketing and just analyzing how the world works now, everything is working off of Google. People ask me about Craigslist, they ask me about Yelp, Facebook, all this stuff. You should always market on all those, because some people will use Craigslist, some boomers, I'm a boomer, I'll use Craigslist, and some people just don't. Some people will use Yelp and then they might find you there, but some people just never use Yelp. I've never used Yelp in my life. Some people might find you on Facebook if you have a business Facebook page, and some people just hate Facebook, right? So you should market on all these little branches, but the core of it, I'm just staring at a tree, it just makes sense. Google should be right here, your Google listing, and then all these little stems could be Craigslist, Facebook, Nextdoor, Yelp, passing out flyers, but the Google should be the cornerstone, and that's something I wish I would have known a long time ago. So that's step one, is just realizing how marketing works nowadays. It's just people just want the quick result, and they go off to Google and they go off the reviews. So you need to get yourself on Google if you're not already there. So that's step one. Alrighty, so step one complete. We understand how marketing works when it comes to Google and how powerful it is. So let's talk about how do we get on Google now? How do we get in front of these customers? So it's very simple to get listed on Google. In a nutshell, you just go to googlemybusiness.com. They ask you the super basic information that they would always ask you. It always takes 15-20 minutes. It's name, address, what's the name of your business, where are you located. It will ask you all these super basic questions, but then they're gonna send a verification letter to your house. Now, if you live in a house, that's perfect, it's gonna work for you. If it's your parents' house, it's okay. I used my parents' house the first time when I registered, and then you can hide the address later on. It doesn't have to show the address that you file with, but a envelope is gonna get sent from Google to your house, and then inside that envelope is gonna be a 6-digit code. And then from there, you put that into the Google My Business verification. It's going to wait for you to verify it. And whenever you link the numbers together, then it's live and you're done. Boom, right? So that's how it is in a nutshell. But before you get to that step, I highly recommend that you go ahead and register your business as a sole proprietor or an LLC if you haven't done it already. And I know how it is in the beginning. You don't want to do it because it's scary and taxes are scary and you don't understand how it works. But trust me, if you don't do it now, you're going to have to do it later on. And if you wait to do it later on, it's just going to be even messier. You might as well just start with a clean slate and make your first dollar legal and realize that the real gangsters of this world make legal money. They don't just make under the table cash and just like scrape underneath hiding all the time. They make real money and they show it so they can get big boy stuff like big boy mortgages, big boy loans, or big boy lines of credit, all this stuff, right? Not saying that you need that stuff, but that's just how it is. So I highly recommend you get your business set up because, again, going back to the root in the tree example, the root is Google. All these different leads are going to be Yelp, Facebook, Nextdoor, passing out cards, all this stuff, right? And then the leaves is going to be the money, and you want it to be built off the proper foundation. You don't want to build a tree right here and then get right here and realize you got to switch the roots again because you didn't do it right the first time, and then now it's all you're building into like a flat wall because you didn't space it right. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself registered first. Just go online and get an LLC. For at least in Texas, it costs $300, and it takes, again, like 20 minutes of just filing information. What's your name? What's your address? What's your business name? And then boom, that's it. If you want to get a sole proprietorship, usually you got to go, when I did it, when I was like 5-6 years ago, because first I was a sole proprietor, then I was an LLC. The LLC, again, $300 in Texas. Do it online, get the email certificate emailed to you, and then you don't even have to talk to anybody in person. You just got to do a little bit of work. For the sole proprietorship, I had to go downtown to my county clerk's office and do it in person. It costed $20, and then that's how I got a sole proprietorship. And then all that these terms mean, sole proprietor and LLC, they're just pieces of paper that just say, I am a sole proprietor, I am Zachary Jr. and I own this business, or I am Zachary Jr. and I own this business and this is my LLC. That's all that it is, right? A lot of these big businesses or these big corporations, they're just little pieces of papers stacked up, and that's how the corporation is really honestly set up as, right? It's kind of a crazy thought that a lot of these big companies are just like stacks of paper and that people get paid from these little formations that they create. I'm getting off track now, but you should register your business first, because what happens after you register as a sole proprietor or an LLC is that you get a new business checking and business saving account. And why that's good is because if you're getting paid $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $2,000 a month, and it's getting mixed with your personal checking account that you've had your whole life, it's going to be super messy when it comes to making business deductions for yourself and itemizing what the write-offs for your business were whenever it's mixed up with the food and all the stuff that you're buying and all these little bills. And if you go to Lowe's for yourself and then you go to Lowe's for your business, which one do you know? Because it just says Lowe's on your little bank statement, right? So you want to get a new bank account set up, and that comes from having the paper that says LLC or sole proprietor, because you take that paper, whichever one, you bring it to the bank, and then they give you, oh, okay, so you're certified now, we can give you the business checking account and the business savings account. And then now, if you're like me, you could have it in the same bank too. You could have your personal checking right here and your personal saving, and then you have a business checking and a business saving in the same app, and it just makes it easier. Then whenever you get paid, the money goes to your business checking, and then you could pull it out every week or every month or every 2 weeks, and you could transfer it, just an online transfer, to yourself, and that's how you could pay yourself as a self-employed person. Just a quick tip in a nutshell summed up, right? So step 2 is you have to get yourself certified first, because also when it goes back to the Google My Business verification, if you don't have this certificate that says you're an LLC or a sole proprietor, the Google My Business verification might ask you, hey, are you certified? Are you legal? And if you're not, then you get stuck and held up. But if not, then you could just go forward. But the people I've been working with in my course now program, some people tell me that they're asking for a verification video now, which basically means you just have to stand in front of your tools or in front of your truck or in front of your house, just basically showing that you own the business. Just hold the little piece of paper that you can print out that says I'm the LLC or I'm the sole proprietor, this is me. And then it's a 15-20 second video, and that's all that they need, right? So if you can send that verification, then they'll give you the envelope that's mailed from Google to your house, and it's just a 6-digit code. And then whenever they can verify that your home residence is really legit, then you put that 6-digit code into Google My Business, and then now you are verified and you're live, right? So that's how you get yourself on Google. That was kind of a lot of words, but I just wanted to give you as much of an insight from it from somebody who's done it before, what it's like, right? So that's step 2, is realizing how to get yourself on Google. It's just a verification. You just need to go and put your home address. And again, if you don't have your own house, you can use your parents' house and you can hide it later. But if you live in an apartment, if you live in some type of anything that's not a real house, like a standalone house on its own that has its own physical address, then it might be hard. And I don't think you can use PO boxes either. It has to be an address. So you need to figure that out, whether you're gonna use a friend or family members, or if you're gonna get your own place and try to rent a house and then put the Google My Business there. You can change it always later on and you can always hide it. But again, you need an actual house to get it verified. So that's just the one caveat. So something to think about now. But that's step 2, is the whole understanding of how to get on Google and what that process looks like. So step 1, how does Google work and why is it important for me? Done. Step 2, how do we get on Google and what should I be expecting when I'm getting on Google? Done. Also, pro tip as well, if you're thinking about just starting off as a sole proprietor and then maybe in a year or 2 you'll become an LLC, Don't do that, because I made that mistake in the beginning. I didn't know that if you start off as a sole proprietor and you have your sole proprietor checking and savings account, you're all happy. If you decide you want to become an LLC later on, you can't just switch the account. You have to close those accounts. You have to remove all the money, and then they're going to get closed forever. So you lose all those statements, and then you got to open a new checking and saving for your new LLC, even if it's the same name of the business, because it's different on the back end for the banks. So if you're thinking about becoming an LLC later on, my recommendation is just do it right now. And if you're thinking about just staying as a sole proprietor, I would encourage you to realize that a lot of one-person businesses are LLCs, and virtually you're going to pay the same in taxes. It's not like one of them gets more savings. However, LLCs, you can get more savings whenever you do certain things, more technical things like S-corping your LLC, but that's later on. When it comes to right now, I think for a one person, man, if I can go back in time, I would just become an LLC from day one. But there's nothing wrong with being a sole proprietor. Also, quick tips, LLC, again, $300, sole proprietor costing me $20. I'm in the state of Texas. LLC, I did it on the computer, didn't have to talk to anybody, got my email certificate the next day. Sole proprietor, had to go set appointments, go in person. Honestly, it's more work to go do a sole proprietorship, and you have less protection. You should just become an LLC to start off with, whether you're a one person or you scale up to 2, 3, 4 people. And plus, if you're going to be a sole proprietor right now, you might be thinking I'm going to be one person forever, but what if you change your mind later on? You're kind of stuck because you're a sole proprietor business model. However, if you start off as an LLC, you could still be one person, or you could scale up to 100 workers and you're still okay with your bank accounts, and it's all good. So that's a quick tip right there. So now let's go on to step 3. Okay, so now number 1, we know how Google works. Number 2, we know how to get ourselves on Google. Number 3, okay, so I'm listed on Google. I'm not getting any callers. What do I do now? How does this work? Okay, so it's a slow grind, but what I did in the beginning, and I'm not telling you that this is perfect, but I'm just telling you what I did, was I had my friend and family members leave me little reviews to give me like my first 5 or so reviews, right? So now I'm a brand new listing. I have 5 or so reviews. And then from there, there's no secret shortcut. I literally just did a whole bunch of work. I did good jobs, I did bad jobs, I learned on all these jobs, and I just chased my reviews from these customers. And Google is cool because it gives you a little copy and paste link that you can send to your customers. And then every time I do a job, and only if they were happy, whenever I started getting better at my business, whenever they'd be happy and I know it, I'd ask them for a review. And the way that I would ask them was, I would finish the job, I'd collect payment, I'd make sure they're happy and rescheduled. And then once all that stuff is out the way and the interaction's virtually done, I'll tell them, hey, would you mind leaving me a quick 5-star review? They really helped me get new customers, and it would help me out a ton. Here's a link, and then it's just a little copy paste link, and then it just says thank you so much. And I have that as a keyboard shortcut in my phone, so I don't even have to type it out. I just make sure I do a good job. I put the focus on the work, because that's where the focus should be. And then from there, I could just focus on getting the reviews. Now, sometimes you might have to ask them 2 or 3 times. You don't have to sweat them like they owe you money. But, I mean, if they owe you money, that's a different story. But when it comes to getting the reviews, sometimes you got to put a little effort into it, but just focus on getting them as much as you can. And then that's really in conjunction with putting little social media posts on your Google listing, because it's almost like a little news feed. You could add pictures, updates, all this stuff. Getting reviews and posting little weekly updates is all that you need to do, and just giving it time. And then you could be at the top of your Google listing for your area. And again, you don't have to have the most reviews to be the highest rank. If you have the most activity, if you're getting the quickest reviews, like if you're getting lots of reviews per week, per month, and you're posting a lot of updates, you could outrank other businesses that are a lot bigger than you, who have just been sitting there and maybe they're a little bit more stagnant because they already got their business built up, right? But if you're showing activity on your Google listing, you're having lots of 5-star reviews and lots of engagement, then you could rank up. And plus, it might not be as like who has the most reviews in my city is going to be the one that pops up. It might be if you're the closest to this customer that's searching for it, like if you're in a specific zip code and then you're 3 streets away or 10 streets away, and maybe the best business in your area is like 20 miles away, but they have 1,000 reviews, you're going to rank higher because you have more activity and you're closer in proximity, because they're not going to always recommend you people far away. They're going to recommend local businesses. That's the whole point of Google. So when it comes to ranking up, just give it 1 or 2 years. I can't lie to you and say that I got to the top of my ranking in like one month or anything. It takes a while, but the more you work and the more you get better at your lawn care skills and the better you get at your interactions, the more confident you get, then it will all build up. And then you don't have to keep chasing reviews forever. For me, when I got to like, I think 20 or 30 reviews, I was already ranking almost at the top of my area in my zip code, not all of San Antonio, but just for my zip code. And then whenever I got to plus 50 reviews, I was pretty much number 1, even if I was outside of my areas, because where I live, there's San Antonio. And then 30 miles away, there's these other cities called like Universal City, Selma, Texas. They're all like 30 miles away. I was getting lots of callers from those people too. And I'm not paying for any marketing or anything in those areas. It's just coming from Google. I'm out of breath now because I'm walking up a hill. But when it comes to Google, again, you don't have to have the most reviews, just show constant activity. Just showing up is half the battle, and just keeping motion on your listing is all that you need, and then you will rank. And I promise, I swear to you on my life, that you will get customers by just having an active, growing Google listing. And then the more jobs you get, the more before and after pictures you get, the more reviews you get, the more updates you can post. And then there comes a point to where this is the end of it. And this is where I was at for a long time. I'm still here now. And this is how I still get callers, even though I'm in Costa Rica, is that I got past, I think I'm over 100 reviews now. And I don't have to chase reviews as hard as I used to in the beginning, because it was a lot of activity in the beginning to build it up. But you don't have to be chasing and working on it forever, because eventually you can get to a point where it balances itself out. And then you're so ahead of your competition that you could take a step back, and then you could just focus on your work and just focus on doing the quotes. Not saying that you're just going to sit back and chill forever, but there's just like seasons for everything. There's a season for busting your ass, focusing on working on marketing and stuff. And then from there, you could just focus on the work, right? So that's just at least how I would go about everything. Season for working and season for sitting back, season for working, season for sitting back, and just focusing on the sustainability of your business. Not work 24/7, don't have a life. It's about balancing your life, right? So let Google do the work for you. Let Google do the marketing for you. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Google is powerful. If you enjoyed this, you want to work with me so I can help you build your lawn care business so you can become self-employed too. MakeMoneyMorning.com is my website. Cool little sunset. I'm out this. I gotta go catch my breath and walk up this hill to my house. See you guys soon. Love you. Peace out, gang.